at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Bryan Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day. The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. And a day in which I remember covering the Packers and always believing the majority of what players say, they don't believe it. They just say whatever they're supposed to say. Which didn't bother me, but they don't really believe it. Good evening, Bryan. You ready to go?
I'm ready. How are we doing?
Here's the best example. So every Packer player, in fact, the quarterback, what's the goal of the team every year?
Well, what's the goal of the team? Win a Super Bowl.
Win a Super Bowl. All right. And then somebody asked the quarterback if they took a step back last year. Pebble, was that okay? Now let's hear what the quarterback says.
I gotta grab you here first, Homer.
All right. We got time. Because, I mean, it's easy, right? I mean, if the goal is to win the Super Bowl, every player on the team, every player in the organization should have the same answer as to whether or not they took a step back last year. It's like asking them 2 + 2, unless, in fact, that's not really the truth. What's 2 and 2? 2 and 2
yes.
is 4.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're asking about last year, if they took a step back, it's as easy as 2 and 2. If every player tells us, especially with the Packers, what's the goal of the team?
Win the Super Bowl.
All right. Which would mean the most important part of the season is what? Clearly.
I mean, the most important part of the season is the Super Bowl that they didn't get to.
Well, the playoffs. In order to get to the Super Bowl, you got to do well in the playoffs. So they asked Jordan Love about, somebody brought up the concept of taking a step back. We got
what is a step back is what I'd ask, you know what I mean? Everybody has different opinions, things like that.
Wait,
you got to block that stuff out.
No, everybody doesn't have a different opinion. You have only one opinion. What's the opinion? The goal is to win the Super Bowl. So what's the number one way to determine if you took a step back or not? How close you were to what?
The Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. 2 years ago, they're a 7th seed. They beat the 2 seed, and then the next game, they were ahead in the fourth quarter. Last year, they lose the first game.
Yep.
Every player on the team should be able to answer this in 2 seconds. Of course, last year was a step back. We were further from getting the Super Bowl, unless it's all just made-up crap, and this is how all the players prove to us that they don't even think about what they say. They just say what they're supposed to say, because no one could say the goal is to win the Super Bowl and take more than 2 seconds to answer the question, did you take a step back last year? Now, as I said, this is from 40 years, and this just proves it again, but I haven't in the past had a player on to explain to me how I might be wrong.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, obviously, you know what they're doing. They're being players are all the same with that. They're being politically correct, protecting the rest of the teammates, not creating questions for the rest of the teammates. But what you're saying is correct in theory. If you don't get back to at least the same spot you're in or were the previous season, then yes, you took a step back from the prior season. I mean, that's just the way it goes, right? Like, there's no question about it. You could look at parts of what they did last year, and there's parts of what they did last year that you could say took steps forward. And defensively, I think they took a step. In the run game, they took a step. But as a team as a whole, right, and that's what we're talking about, right? Because we're talking about the team.
Just the question that was asked, because
yes.
I want to emphasize this. And, I mean, it just basically says to me it's not against players. They just don't give it that much thought. You could easily say, I like the team more. Right? We took a step back because it's about the Super Bowl. We took a step back in the playoffs. But I want you to know this. I like this team a little more, or however you want to put it. But
and
I do actually, because of Coop.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's ways to put it that you answer the question and, you give the real answer. But I mean, the thing you don't want to do is create a clip that said, "Yeah, we took a step back." Like you don't want to create that audio
but
clip.
But the reason I ask this is because with you, I can ask I can get the truth. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think that when you played, and maybe if you don't win the Super Bowl, how far you go in the playoffs doesn't matter. I mean, I'm willing to accept whatever the reality is based on what you say and how good the team is. So, hey, we won one playoff game one year. We didn't win any the next year. Is it a step back? And if you're a really good team, you'd say, I don't know. We weren't even close to where we need to be. I would think if you make the Super Bowl, there has to be some value to that. Maybe not. Maybe if you believe that strongly, it's about then to get that close that wouldn't be any better. But I would think as a player it is. So
yeah, for me, I mean, I always viewed it, right? Like, I mean, you at least for me and a lot of the guys on the teams that we were on, we looked at it as if we didn't get to the Super Bowl, then the whole season, you don't look at everything, but like the season was what we were trying to do was a failure because that was the end goal. Like if all the work you do, you play all the games, right? You get into the postseason and you don't get to the final game, then it was a failure of a season. Not saying it wasn't a good season,
okay, all right.
But you failed to get to the end.
That's
game,
how
right?
you felt it. That's how you felt.
That's how I felt.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you failed to get to the end game. And that was the goal, right? Like if that's the goal, that's the goal. Like, and it's not to win a playoff game. It's not to win 2 playoff games.
And you never had the experience like the other Packers did of getting to the Super Bowl and then losing to know how you would actually view that.
No, I had no idea what that actually feels like. I've been to a lot of NFC championships and felt that pain of losing those. Like I know exactly what that felt like, right? And been to plenty of those. So like I get it, and like I'm not saying that those aren't good seasons. Making it that deep in the playoffs and winning that many games. I'm not saying those are bad seasons.
In order to get that far, you have great moments.
Yes,
that's what I say. That's why I like. I mean, there's you. As a fan, that's the greatness of the Super Bowl because it's all great moments. But, advancing can create some great moments or can also create some incredibly horrific moments because there's just so much more at it. But you can have games that you remember. I mean, you have taught me and Tony Smith has taught me to remember first it's a job. Like, I want to be good at my job. I want to excel at my job. I want to make money and do that. And that plays a huge role that players probably don't say often enough because then they would sound selfish.
Of course, yeah. I mean, the thing about it too, and if we're going to go down that topic, it's only better for players the farther we go. Right? Like that adds to resumes for players, right? Like so, it benefits the player as it benefits the team, right? The farther we get in the playoffs, it adds to our resume that, I've played in 2 Super Bowls, or I've won a Super Bowl and played in 3, or I've been in X amount of NFC championships. Like it adds to resume. So like as players, you look at it individually, but as you go as a player, it helps the team. So like you can have that little bit of mindset of that little selfish mindset, like, hey man, like, I know what this is going to do if we continue to roll on, like how this.
I want my team to do well because I'll get rich. Yeah, or richer, right?
It's going to help me financially, but at the same time, everyone on the team's benefited from it too. Like everyone benefits, the organization benefits, everyone benefits from it. So like, I don't look at that as a selfish play from an individual, right? Like everyone wants to go deep in the playoffs, but there's no doubt about what you're saying, right? Like it's very obvious if you don't at least get back to where you were in the playoffs the season before, you took a step back as a team as a whole, right? Like that's just the way it is. Right? There's no really other way to look at it. But like I said, there were areas of the season that they did take steps forward. Like I mentioned in the run game, in the defense, I mean, kicking game obviously was better. I think that's pretty clear.
Defensive coordinator, you could argue.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
So there were things that they took steps that they were better at. So like, you don't look at this whole thing and blow it up, but like, you can't say that, you know, I don't know. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. He's very smart with his words, which I appreciate from a quarterback. He's very mindful of how he answers questions, which again, I'm very appreciative from a quarterback being an offensive lineman. So, but just from just general standpoint, yes, they as a team, they took a step back because they didn't achieve as much as they did the year prior. And that's what it is.
And if you don't answer it that easily, that tells me there's something else going on. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. Or you might feel you're commenting on how you played. Or like he mentioned, we won more games. Come on.
Yeah.
There's not a human alive Packer player or fan that has ever judged a season on we won 2 more games. No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and like here's the thing. Like I understand they won 2 more games.
But I want him to say, like everybody feels, for what he should say is, I know we won 2 more games, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, like and like listen, again, I absolutely listen, I admire the guy. He's protecting everybody, which I admire, right? Like I admire that.
That's why you're here to explain it to me.
Like I admire what he's doing. Like I get it. He's doing it and he's shielding everyone from questions, right? Because if he answers it a certain way that we're talking about, he creates questions for everybody else to answer it a certain way. So he's answering it in a way that is shielding everyone else. So like I give him a lot of credit for that. But there's a way to look at that too from now the outsider perspective is that like, yeah, you won 2 more games, which I understand that, like, which, hey, I get it. But how you played in the division was not very good, right? Like it's probably the worst that LaFleur's ever, his worst division record ever. And like, he's never, and I know Matt's division record was squeaky clean, essentially, till this season. Like it was really good till this season. And then you look at the way they kind of finished the season, right? Like the thing that continues to stick out in my mind is that last Chicago game. Like how they played in that last game at home, like that just jumps out at me. Like that's what they carried into the playoffs, and like it kind of, carried into the play. Like that performance kind of carried over, and that's what you were left with the last 2 weeks of the season. And so, yeah, you won 2 more games. I get it. But like there were, moments at the end of the year that you just didn't look like the team that won 2 more games. So I respect him for doing what he did, and protecting his teammates and protecting the team and doing all that. But like you look at it from an outsider, that's kind of the way I look at it as a whole about last year. There were good moments. There were good things that happened. But like the first thing is I look at the division, right? Like the division record was, it's unacceptable, right? Like it's unacceptable.
Right. And one of the issues is the division's gotten better, but that doesn't change what you have to do. It just means that it's tougher or the team could be better, but the results aren't.
You got to play better in division games. Yeah.
I like him too much to be bothered, but I don't. It has to. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, or anyone, that it's kind of what you say.
Yeah, I mean he's doing. Listen, it's not that he doesn't. It's not that he doesn't know, or he's not creating questions for anybody else.
Right, and he lives that standard every day there.
Yes. Yes,
right.
LaFleur has said, and he said it a bunch of times, the guy is the leader of the locker room.
No, but I mean, to understand the importance of the Super Bowl and to understand that if you fail in the playoffs or don't do as worse, that in that building, that's a step back.
Yeah, I mean, he was there with Aaron when they lost those games.
Yes.
Right? Like he understands, like he gets it. It's not like he wasn't there to see when they were going through that run when Aaron could do no wrong and they lost in the NFC Championship game.
I guess I'd imagine, we'll take a break and bring in Jason, but I can't imagine how horrific it is not to make the playoffs. Like whatever you do, as long as you're in, you got a chance. You don't make the playoffs. It's the Titanic. I don't. Is there a way to describe how horrible it is?
No, it's terrible. Like, I mean, it is a absolutely terrible feeling. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously we had it in 17 and 18, and it was probably like, first of all, it was the weirdest feeling, right? Because you're so used to January hitting, and now it's time the season starts, right? Like, here it is. Like, here we go. And we got to January and it was done. Like, you knew it was done. Like, the season's done. Like, and packing your bags, essentially getting things ready to go back to where guys were going, man. It was a very weird feeling and disappointing. I mean, it's hard to put into words because it never happened. Right? Like, I mean, it's hard to describe because it just never happened.
Like a wasted season.
Yeah, and then for it to happen again the next season was just, it's hard to describe. It's very hard to describe.
Right. And the emphasis is also in an organization that's won and you've been winning it. At other places, it's probably different because they're accustomed to it or they aren't used to having so much success. But, I would guess that losing in the playoffs is one thing. You know, it's like not making the playoffs is like driving a car with no tires. I mean, you can't imagine anything could be that bad. Like, no, we can't. It can't happen, right? That's not possible.
Dude, like the most shame you could feel. Yeah. Like, I'm serious. Like,
no, I know.
You feel ashamed.
Yes.
Like, I mean, and that's how you feel about it. Like, because you understand the team you have and you couldn't get to the playoffs. Like, and that's like, it's the worst feeling.
Shame is
the worst feeling.
Shame is the great word. Jason Wilde and Bryan Bulaga. And I rest. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on 43, backups from Capitol Drive, pretty much solid all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge to Chase Avenue. The northbound side, we got some backups basically from just before Fond du Lac Avenue to Keefe. Southbound 41, heavy from before Appleton Avenue all the way past Capitol Drive. Northbound is slow from Watertown Plank Road all the way up to Silver Spring. And then southbound on the bypass, backed up out of the zoo all the way down and around the Hale interchange onto 894 eastbound. Traffic is brought to you by Third Ward Beer Garden. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden. A check of the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 52. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with an afternoon chance of a thunderstorm, a high of 75. Weather is brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Visit any of their 6 locations in the Milwaukee market today. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Wash, chill, repeat. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
I'll be fascinated to see what this contract looks like. How much of this is incentivized? How much is Jair getting to walk through that door?
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
I'm guessing it's not going to be nearly what he wants. I know that. It will be more of how much did the Packers go to kind of put an olive branch out to say, come on back in, Jair. We still believe that you can play.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC, Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Breese Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. May is officially the kickoff to home improvement season, and now is the time to tackle those big projects you've been putting off. Right now, during the home improvement season sale, you'll get an incredible 50% off your windows. But it gets even better. For a limited time, you'll get no interest and no payments for 12 months, and you'll receive a free entry door with your window purchase. Call 414-410-2000 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to schedule your free in-home estimate today.
ESPN Wisconsin's Bryan Bulaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
And I get to enjoy like everybody else gets to enjoy. The Dr. Bryan Bulaga, take over, because you're so nice.
Jason, good evening. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. So I just want to jump right into it. I just want to get right into it. What is the word on the street in Green Bay about what's going on with 23? What is the word? What are you hearing? I mean, we talked a little bit on your show. I didn't really understand. I mean, I haven't read a bunch about it because I knew I was going to talk to you today. What have you heard about, I guess, what contract has been offered, or what have you heard? I mean, what's going on with this, essentially?
Well, I mean, first of all, look, the fact that there's an offer certainly draws everyone's attention, and rightfully so. I'm not poo-pooing the significance of that, but they've been talking for months now, right? And you know this, having gone through negotiations, whether it's for an extension or for a free agent signing where you're re-signing with the team, or you're signing with a new team after the Packers didn't re-sign you and you sign with the Chargers. Like, there's, exchanges back and forth and whatever else. Well, Goody told us in March that he was talking to Jair's agent, John Thornton, every week. So, they're not just calling saying, hey, have you started playing pickleball yet? It's a really fun game. I hear Tauscher's got a place in Green Bay where I can play. Like, they're not just calling to chit-chat. So they've been working on this in some form or fashion. And the reason why I think that that's germane to what we're talking about here is that, it's great that there's an offer on the table, but as Matt Schneidman, who reported it, said, like, that doesn't mean he's going to take it, right? Like, there's no guarantee that he's going to. And I thought it was really interesting yesterday that basically the way that Xavier McKinney talked about it, it was, we all want him here, which I totally believe him, but he's got to do what's best for him. And ultimately, I want this to be something that turns out to be, what's best for him. Well, that is interesting in and of itself, because, that could mean turning this offer down. And, I know you and I and Tausch talked about this when you were on, but, let's not lose sight of the fact that essentially the most important part of the story to me was that he intends to come for the mandatory minicamp, if not before. So he might come next week. He might be there when I'm there on Tuesday. And he's doing that because that is a pressure point. Because, again, the Packers don't want him out. It's fascinating to juxtapose him with Elton Jenkins. Elton Jenkins doesn't want to be out there without more guarantees of the money that's existing in the final 2 years of his contract for fear of, possibly suffering some sort of freak injury. At the same time, he's got to weigh the idea of potentially being fined if he doesn't come to the mandatory minicamp on June 10th. On the flip side, Jair wants to come in because it forces the Packers, who don't want him on the field without the contract being adjusted to reduce their risk and reduce what they have to pay him. So, this I know I sound like a broken record, but this is not some sort of magnanimous, gosh, what a great teammate Jair is. He wants to be with his teammates. Like, I think he does want to be with his teammates, but that's not the primary reason he wants to report to the minicamp. He wants to report so they have to say either, hey, this is our final offer, or B, they improve the offer and there's more guaranteed money and less, you got to earn this by staying healthy money, or C, look, we're not going to do this deal at all. This is it, and if you don't want it, we're going to cut you. So, the scenario would be either to improve the contract and sign the adjusted contract and participate, take it as their last and final offer and decide it's better than what you might find on the open market, or say, okay, well, this is too low for me. I want to practice. I'm going to be out there. And then they have to say, well, then we have to cut you because we can't stop you from practicing.
Correct. Yeah. Very interesting. That's gonna be fun to watch. So do you think that Elton is going to take it through the minicamp?
I don't know. I have not traded text messages with him for a while now. And I haven't spoken to his agent. So I don't know what his plan is because, and I joked about this with you yesterday with us, that you were smart enough not to get pigeonholed into being a NFLPA rep. Tausch was, and Tausch is a really smart guy. And I can't imagine that he was, on board with some of the lame concessions that the NFLPA got, right? Like less practice time and all this other stuff. And among the foolish things in the last CBA, or maybe it was in the 2011 CBA, was that like these fines, like they basically gave teams carte blanche to fine the crap out of you if you no-show. Like they made it so that some of it is mandatory. Like they can't even rescind the fines. So basically then they, you have to negotiate them paying you more to pay off the fines.
So why
the
players agree to it?
Because they're foolish.
Yep.
Like I just don't like, and I understand it's hard to get 52 or 53 players times 30 times 32 teams plus the other guys that are on the practice squads and whatever else. Like I get it. It's hard to get people to agree on anything. They can't even order lunch and get everyone to agree. But they seem to take these lame victories and then they lose on all the important stuff. Like, Rodgers, Let me
just ask one quick thing, though, Jason. Has anybody actually paid the fines? I mean, I'm going to assume the leaders of the players said, don't worry about it. They'll give you all the money back. You're not really going to be fined, so we're really not giving anything up.
I think guys have definitely been fined.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
And in Devontae's case, like I think that was part of the reason why he didn't hold in. Now, guys have gotten smarter, and they've come in with these phantom injuries. My arm. So that they're there, but they're not able to participate, or they choose not to participate and say they're unable. But no, I do think that some of that is real, and I think it was a dumb thing to give up to owners. I don't. That's another thing I don't understand. But hey, Jeff Saturday got less arduous off-season practices. So way to go, Jeff. But look, the truth is that, if I'm Elton, I don't feel like I'm asking for a lot. Like, I'm asking for money that's already in the contract. I just want you to guarantee some of it. And if your whole offensive line plan is predicated on me being your center, then I don't think that's an unreasonable ask. And I think it's a reasonable thought process for him to say, hey, I got at least a little bit of leverage. I got to try and use it because my contract is not player-friendly. And we have seen time and time and time and time again that guys later in their contracts, with them not being guaranteed in football except for these draft pick contracts, that you're probably – I mean, there's a distinct possibility that he plays okay this season, gets paid what he's scheduled to be paid this year, and Goody says, hey, man, you got a monstrous cap number. We love you. We think the world of you, but, it's business. It's not friends, and we're gonna make Jacob Monk our new starting center. And we wish you and your family the best with your next team. Like, that's not all. We can't say that that's never going to happen. So I just don't think what he wants is unreasonable. And hopefully cooler heads prevail, and we don't have a showdown on June 10th on whether or not he's there.
Speaking of that offensive line, how did that look lining up on first day of OTAs, Jason?
So it was from left to right. It was Rasheed Walker at left tackle with some snaps for Jordan Morgan with the ones at left tackle. It was Aaron Banks at left guard. It was Jacob Monk at center with Sean Ryan getting some snaps at center at times. It was Sean Ryan at right guard, except when he would kick into center and Jordan Morgan would work there. So Jordan Morgan took first-team reps both at right guard and at left tackle. And then it was Zach Tom at right tackle with no one else there. Anthony Belton played left tackle with the 2s and 3s during the two-spot period. He played some right tackle as well. He played a little bit of guard, so they put him everywhere. But the only place where the only two places where there was seemingly actual competition were wherever they put Jordan Morgan at various times. So take that for what it's worth.
So essentially it was at left tackle, and the only reason why there was any right guard rotation because there was center rotation.
Yeah, unless it was more of a we want to rotate Jordan Morgan, and not because we're rotating Sean Ryan to center because Elton's not here, but because we want our first-round pick on the field. And if he's not going to beat out Sheedo, which apparently is Rasheed Walker's new nickname from Butkus, kept calling him Sheedo, which seems like a really bad nickname.
I call him Starter.
Yeah, I believe you will be proven correct on that. But the bottom line is that they want Jordan Morgan on the field, and they have to figure out a place to get him. And either way, he's basically taking the spot of a guy that's in a contract year. So it's going to be interesting to see, if those guys both fend him off and he's the sixth man. Bryan, from personal experience with both yourself and with other guys that you played with, that you're not going to get through the season. I mean, it's crazy. They played like 89% of their snaps last year with the same starting five. That is unusual. You guys did it in 14 when you missed the second game of the year after you got hurt in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
But you only missed one game, and that was the one game missed by a starter all season on the offensive line. That stuff does not happen.
Yeah,
I'm with you in that club. So if you have no Jenkins, you're going to have Sean Ryan at center and Jordan Morgan at right guard. That's my theory. You joining my club?
I would say, yeah, I would join that club. I mean, look, Jacob Monk was a 5th-round pick. Corey Linsley was a 5th-round pick, right? I mean, you look at all these other guys that were 4th-round picks, Zach Tom, Bakhtiari, Sitton, Lang, like, there are good players to be had that are 4th and 5th-round picks on the offensive line. So I'm not writing Jacob Monk off. I would just say that I thought it was very telling that when they lost Elton, and then they lost Josh Myers in that playoff game, and Jacob Monk was active, they still didn't put him in. So, and it wasn't like the two guys that played guard were so star-spangled awesome after Elton got hurt that you couldn't take them off the field. So, Jacob Monk seems like a conscientious, hard-working dude. Reminds me a little bit of Scott Wells, not with his personality, because he's not really a fiery type, but with this, like, shorter, stouter, kind of that leverage guy, Bryan, wrestlers, like, getting low on you. So he could be very effective. I haven't seen him do much to know one way or the other, but he is an option at least for now.
Well,
and I'm sure
it comes down who's worse, Jacob Monk at center or Jordan Morgan at right guard, right?
Yeah,
as to what you do.
I'll join that club too.
Yeah.
Do I get free breakfast at Ted's?
Yeah, whenever you want. Club? Not only you, your entire family. You bring your family in anytime you want to Ted's. Homer's buying.
Do you have to be there?
I do not. No. Nope.
Okay.
That's a pretty good deal.
I'd rather you were there. That is a good deal, but I'd rather you be there.
Bulaga's as well, but he's never going to be there. He doesn't come to Wisconsin much.
Well, come pick him up in your new Lincoln.
All right, fine.
Yeah,
you can do that too.
New Lincoln, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
MXS, I think it is. I didn't even know the kind of car that it is. Yes. The nicest car I've driven since 1972. I was going to suggest that they change my name to Sir Homer, but that didn't go over real well, so I'm still Homer.
Jason, how did any changes in the defensive lineup, how guys lined up on defense, are pretty much same as what we saw, how they finished out last year?
Yeah, so Quay Walker didn't practice. Kenny Clark didn't practice. Their front four from left to right was they flip-flopped some, which was one thing that we know Lucas Van Ness did not do last year after he broke his thumb, but it was Rashawn Gary on the left side. Then it was Colby Wooden along with Devontae Wyatt on the two inside spots, and then it was LVN on the outside. They played Hopper in place of Quay as the third linebacker when they were in base. And then it was, they rotated all the safeties like they rotated the wide receivers with the ones. But it was primarily Evan Williams with X. And then, they did have Hobbs and Nixon as the two outside corners in the base. And then Carrington Valentine came in and the nickel, played outside, and Hobbs came inside.
Okay. So that's going to look – so say Jair stays, right? That defense is going to look awfully interesting on the back end then, right? With Hobbs and –
they're going to have a ton of options, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, keeping Jair Alexander, who I think everyone agrees is still a good player when he plays, and those three words are so important, when he plays. But, Carrington Valentine is – I'm sorry, but I think he's got incredible potential, and combined with actual pelts on the wall, having started 22 games, including 3 playoff games in his first 2 years as a 7th-round pick. So, they like Hobbs because he's got the inside-out versatility. Keyshawn Nixon has the inside-out versatility. They've got a lot of options there. And then at safety, I mean, they had 5 different guys start at least one game next to X. I mean, that's crazy that they have that many options. And it's not like it's just, we don't have anybody. They're all kind of mediocre. Like, Evan Williams is a good player. The guy that seems to be, at least for now, the odd man out is Javon Bullard, who they like the fact that he could play the slot, he could play true safety, and yesterday he was kind of the guy that just, got rotated in, but he feels, at the moment at least, kind of a man without a country.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
See you, Tads. Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. From the court to the classroom in the community, the Champions for Literacy celebration with Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener will be an evening you don't want to miss. Join Wade, I call him the Hall of Fame humanitarian, and Diener on June 27th at the Garage at the Harley-Davidson Museum. Make an impact by raising funds for literacy. Get tickets and full event information right now. WadeVersusDiener.GiveSmart.com. WadeVersusDiener.GiveSmart.com. I don't care how far we're behind. Oh, let's have Bryan. Let's let Bulaga. Yeah, we went so long. He now has to get in one of his two. He's now doing two partners a show. Wow. Take it away, Doc.
Yeah, let's talk about my friends over at Surfside. Living in Florida, I am on the golf course a lot, and it's hot out here. I mean, to tell you what, it's like 98 degrees out here today, and it's hot. And when it's time to reach for a cold beverage, it's always going to be a Surfside iced tea and lemonade plus vodka. That's right. It's always going to be that. And guess what? It's about golf season in Wisconsin right now, too. Homer, what is it? 70, 75 degrees there right now? It's just about time.
That's mean.
What, it's not even that warm yet?
Oh, no. Oh, my God. They played the Women's U.S. Open at Erin Hills. I think it was 60, right? Pebble, maybe 60.
Okay. Oh,
they're all wearing sweaters, hoods.
Okay. Well, even if it's not that warm yet, there's still no better drink to have on the course of the Surfside. It's light, refreshing, and made with real vodka. It tastes cleaner than all the other drinks. It doesn't leave your mouth coated in sugar and feeling all gross. And there's a great variety of flavors. Half tea, half lemonade, strawberry lemonade, peach tea, and so many more. Only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so you won't be feeling full and bloated after a drink or two. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly.
And your state, your teams, your ESPN, the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app, a customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your show's the touch of a fingertip. It's not Wisconsin on demand anymore. It's the new ESPN Wisconsin app, available on Apple and Android app stores. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. I don't know what quarter it is. I know we're late. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Eastbound 94, backups from about Highway 16 all the way through past Barker Road, back on the brakes from the zoo through to 35th Street. Westbound side, not too bad. Just a little bit backed up coming out of the stadium interchange. You're back on the brakes heading through the zoo. Southbound 41, backing up from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive with the northbound side slow from Watertown Plank Road up to Silver Spring. When business brings you to Milwaukee, make the Knickerbocker on the Lake your home base. Enjoy modern meeting rooms, lakefront views, and refined dining. Visit knickerbockeronthelake.com to book today. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 52. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with an afternoon chance of thunderstorms, a high of 75. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Brewers and Padres action is coming at you June 6th through the 8th. Catch an electric weekend of baseball as two of the game's youngest superstars square off. The first Friday game of June means Wisconsinites can grab half-off tickets to the Brewers series opener on the 6th, then score one of the top giveaways of the season, a Jackson Churio replica jersey presented by Chevrolet for the first 25,000 ticketed fans through the gates June 7th. Get seats at Brewers.com.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor, unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount liquor.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
All across Wisconsin, destination marketing organizations are working to ensure that tourism in our state and your local community is stronger than ever. Their work to drive visitation and enhance the visitor experience not only encourages travelers to discover our great state, it bolsters the economy, supports jobs, and it improves the quality of life for all Wisconsin residents. To learn more about what these great organizations are doing, visit destinationswisconsin.com. Sponsored by Destinations Wisconsin.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
The Bryan Bulaga Homer Hour. Jason Wilde's gone, so the backup Homer filling in this segment. I wanted to ask you if you had any input from people about Iowa NIL. Somebody saying, Bryan, if you were playing for the Iowa this year, you'd be making $2 million. I'm not asking you to be specific, but I am curious do people talk about that, or are you too far removed? If I were you, I'd be curious what Bryan Bulaga's making this year in college football.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. I haven't talked about it with people, at the university or anything like that. I think it's a conversation I have with my buddies and things like that are really into college football.
And what do they say?
I mean, they follow it way, way closer than I do with this NIL money, because they got kids that are, playing football and they play tackle and things like that. And based on how I played and my accolades, they all think that I would make close to around $1.5 million to $2.5 million a year based on how I played. And I'm just like, that'd be great. I'm like, thanks for ruining my day. If I was a college kid making that'd have been phenomenal. That'd have been great. Because that, which it's part of the territory and guess. I mean, that's, all the older NFL guys probably feel the same exact way about this generation of, NFL players, that they wish they were making this type of money when they started out, and that's the way it goes.
But I would ask you and assume that no one ever saw this coming. No one.
No one did.
I mean, everybody is literally getting something.
Yes.
At the Division I football or basketball. I mean, I don't know that. I just assume that.
No, I mean, I think everyone that's on the roster, even walk-ons, are at least getting, I think the walk-ons are getting like $5 to $10,000.
Right. Well, I donated $1,000 to Terrell Buckley's Mississippi Valley State, wondering if that would get me a backup punter or, a walk-on long snapper. I haven't really gotten an answer, but I think the answer is no. No.
I mean,
you can't get anything for $1,000 except maybe a tennis player at Boise State or somewhere, number 6 player. I don't know.
It's unbelievable. It's funny based on what we were getting from a scholarship check when we were there to what walk-ons are getting paid now.
And I'm curious if they tell you. I know there have to be cases where kids aren't going pro because they can make more in college.
Yes, they're staying in longer.
Yes,
for sure.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, I just saw a stat about. I mean, before we go to break or whatever, about the NBA. There's less guys coming out.
Yes, that I know for sure. That without a doubt. Yes, and everybody, when they're asked about this, their response usually is, I can't believe it. Somebody said, no, it can't be that. Yeah, believe it. Whatever you hear as bizarre and impossible, given the number of zeros, whatever you're being told, it's certainly possible. Hey, somebody told me about what some punter was making at some Division I school. Now, come on. Punter, long snapper, yep. They got commas now. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Your chance to spend an afternoon on the links with ESPN Milwaukee is just a tap away. The 2025 Delzer ESPN Milwaukee Open happens July 15th at the Ball Golf Course, and we're inviting a lucky ESPN Milwaukee fan and 3 guests. Hang out with your favorite ESPN Milwaukee hosts, play around at one of Wisconsin's most popular courses, and enjoy food and drinks throughout the day. Open up the contest tab in the ESPN Wisconsin app and register for your chance to win this fan foursome with ESPN Milwaukee.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
Something got them started when it comes to Oklahoma City. And boy, the Thunder put it on the Minnesota Timberwolves. They said, you don't want to be here. Let's just send you on your way. They cleared them out in 5 games to win the Western Conference Finals, and now they await the winner of the Indiana Pacers and New York Knicks Eastern Conference Finals series. It could be very, very interesting when a lot of people may start using that dynasty word involving Oklahoma City, but it does make a lot of sense. You have a young superstar when it comes to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, only 26 years of age. You got 2 other guys helping him on rookie contracts involving Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. But the most important thing about what Oklahoma City may be on the verge of doing if they find a way to win the championship for the first time in franchise history is that everybody has that buy-in for this basketball team. They clearly know the point of order, and nobody's willing to usurp that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is their leader, but he's got plenty of lieutenants that want to make sure that message gets through, and that could be very, very scary for the NBA beyond this postseason. In 60 seconds, now or never for this superstar?
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
One of my favorite athletes on the planet is Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers. They are 1 game away from getting back to the Stanley Cup Finals, where awaiting them will be the team that beat them last year, the Florida Panthers. You don't have to be a hockey fan to understand the beauty and simplicity and just eye candy ability that Connor McDavid has for the Edmonton Oilers. For my money, he is the best player in the sport that is loaded with guys like Austin Matthews and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But now or never has to be attached to him being that superstar. He came close last year to getting to the Stanley Cup Final, and it didn't end well for him. This year, he has a healthier and better team trying to win that championship that we have not seen from Edmonton since Wayne Gretzky was in his heyday north of the Canadian border between the United States and Canada. Can he do it? Will he do it? Of course he wants to, but it could be a now or never. You only get so many bites of the apple if you're a superstar like Connor McDavid. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
Tailgate season, company victory party, don't let your event fall short. V Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. V Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore vprivatebar.com and leave the mixing to us.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
1, 2, you know what to do.
I remember when he was just a former Packer. Now he's doing two partners talk a day on this show. Take it away, Doc. Remember when you had none?
Yeah, I remember when I had none.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about what I consider the Bulaga official drink of the summer. That's right, I'm talking about Surfside. Whether I'm on the course whether I'm by the pool, whether I'm around like a bonfire or whatever I'm doing this summer, I'm going to be reaching for a light, refreshing Surfside. It's made with real vodka. It's made with the best ingredients. Believe me, trust me, you're going to want to go out and get this stuff. Give it a shot. It tastes cleaner than all the other drinks out there. Doesn't leave your mouth feeling all junky and sugary. There's a bunch of great flavors. My favorite's the half tea, half lemonade. There's strawberry lemonade, peach tea, so many more. Only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, 0 bubbles, no carbonation, so you're not going to be feeling all bloated and
What's
full.
the name again? Give me that name again.
Surfside. Surfside, Surfside, Surfside. Trust me. Again, whether you're on the golf course, at the pool, this is the drink you're going to want. Believe me, you're going to want it. Trust me.
All right,
Must
well, that's
be 21
good,
years or older. Please drink responsibly.
I'm going to call you Doc. You're now Surfside. Hey, Surfside, what do you got? I hope that gets some sent to me. A couple of notes. ESPN Milwaukee, the YouTube. Gabe Neitzel has got the day's results from the Women's U.S. Open. I watched it on TV, and, man, that course looks like it's in the middle of nowhere. And very, very tough. We will have the Pacers in the next 6:30, the pregame. I think the game starts at 7. American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin. I don't want that to be my middle name instead of Homer. Just a half hour south of Franklin. Just a half hour south of Franklin. American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. Great table games, great slot machine, sports book. And they have all kinds of promotions. If you're not taking advantage of 2 promotions every time you're there, it's on you. And they have new comedy routines, comedy shows, all at AmericanPlace.com. AmericanPlace.com. But for me, just a half hour south of Franklin. All right, 38 minutes if you're in one particular spot of Franklin. American Place Casino. Terry Bradshaw ripping at the Steelers for their interest in Aaron Rodgers. Surfside, we'll see what happens. I mean, there are other things you can complain about to me, Terry, about the Steelers, and that is they're not elite and haven't been for some time. Aaron Rodgers or not.
Yeah, I mean, you're complaining about an organization that hasn't gotten the quarterback position right since Roethlisberger, and you're complaining about Aaron. Like, I don't know what you're complaining about Aaron for. He's not even on the team yet, but you haven't picked the quarterback right since Roethlisberger. I don't know why you're complaining about that.
You know what I think? He's probably thinking if they were interested in Rodgers, maybe they should have asked him to come back. Hey, give me a shot. All right, Surfside. We'll talk next week. Will Jair, because we'll be past June 1st, I think. Will the Jair Alexander thing be solved? My answer is always no. Tell I'm wrong. Which will go first, Jair or Aaron Rodgers? We'll discuss that on Monday if neither has been determined. Again, Pacers in the next 6:30, the pregame, and that Gabe Neitzel again, YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee on the Women's U.S. Open. Next.
Slowing down on southbound